Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's me, Carol. I'm just kidding. You got Matt here from Nerd Enthusiast. Today we're going to be talking about Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, and more. Alright guys, real quick before we get into the games I'm playing, something for you all to watch. If there's like 5 people in the world who haven't watched Tiger King yet, it is pure Americana at its finest. Please go watch Tiger King. It is like an episode of Jerry Springer that it's unbelievable. Anyways, let's talk about Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons came out a couple weeks ago, maybe about a week ago. I've been playing it quite a bit. Probably more than any other game I've played in a while. If I was a drug addict, Animal Crossing is my cocaine. It's so good. This is the best the series has to offer. It's great for kids to adults. I feel like it has a good sense of pacing too. There's crafting abilities this time where you like craft different tools and things like that. The tools are breakable, unfortunately, so you do have to deal with that. But it's fairly simple to, craft another like flimsy rod, and you can get resources like iron and things like that, and that will increase the stability of your tools. So that's something I would definitely recommend doing. You have to smack rocks basically to get the iron out of them. And not all rocks provide you, with iron every time. It's kind of random. You get rocks, iron. Sometimes you get gold nuggets. It just depends. But those are pretty valuable resources to hang on to. There is a progression in the game, so it does hold you back in the beginning. You have to Mabel's not there right away. You can't buy clothes and accessorize yourself immediately. But that comes pretty fast. So just keep that in mind that, you just have to work a little bit to get the stuff that you need. That gameplay loop of constantly, building up your island is phenomenal. It's really good. You can buy tickets to go to visit another island, or you can play online with your friends and go to their island, which I would definitely recommend doing. It's a great way to get exotic fruit that's not native to your island. You usually start out with one piece of fruit, and then I think on day 2 you get a letter mailed to you with another piece of fruit, which you should definitely plant in the ground and start harvesting that piece of fruit to get more of a second fruit, essentially. So there are some things that you don't get right when you start out in the game, like the ability to build bridges, the ability to build inclines where you can get to higher levels. You won't have access to those things immediately, but they'll unlock pretty fast. You just have to put a little bit of effort and time in, which keeps you coming back and playing the game, which is awesome. If you've played Animal Crossing before, if you haven't, there are still seasonal things, like of course the fish and the bugs that you put into your museum. There are certain ones that are only available during certain seasons, so it's always good to figure out which ones are available in the month that you're playing. It's a month-by-month basis, also hemisphere-by-hemisphere basis, so you need to pick northern or southern hemisphere, so it can match up and sync to the seasons where you live. Overall, the game is great. It's everything I could want out of an Animal Crossing game. I can't really specifically think of anything that I would want more. I look forward to all the stuff they're going to do in the future. I will say that their first event that they have is called Bunny Day. It just started. Today is April 1st as I'm recording this. There's a lot of eggs that you get from digging up rocks, catching fish, shooting them down with your slingshot, especially the slingshot. And there's just too many eggs, I feel like. If I'm trying to get to some of the fish I don't have yet for April, and there's just, I would say 50% of the time you're catching fish, maybe even more. You're catching eggs, which is great, to get the seasonal event items from Bunny Day. But it's just the randomized drop is way too high on the eggs. It should be more 20% eggs and 80% of fish. instead of 50-50 or possibly even like 60-40. The majority going to the eggs. There's just too many eggs. It's unnecessary, in my opinion. At least, maybe it's because I'm playing the game more than other people are, but that's the one complaint I have with this is please give me less eggs and more fish. The drops with like the digging where you sometimes you won't get a fossil, you'll get an egg instead. Those are pretty fair. It seems like there's just more of them, so you're still getting the same amount of fossils, which is cool. There's eggs in trees, which is fine, and then shooting them down with a slingshot, that's also extremely constant. Like, I'm talking like every 45 seconds to every minute and a half, I'm hearing the wind for another drop for the slingshot to shoot down an egg. It's just far too often. It's kind of annoying, honestly. So I'm not crazy about this latest seasonal update, but we'll get through it. The 12th is coming up, and once the 12th happens, that's the last day. And the season will be over, and then I can just catch fish constantly, which will be great. Alright, so next up is Doom Eternal. Just for your reference, Doom 2016 was probably my favorite game of that year. If not, it was definitely in the top 3. I loved Doom 2016. I started playing out Doom Eternal. I'm playing on the Xbox One X. The frame rate is buttery smooth. The game is just as fast-paced and amazing as the original was. The thing I'm not liking about Doom Eternal is it's forcing you to chainsaw to get ammo, glory kill to get health, and use a flamethrower to get armor. These things, when you're in combat, it almost creates a puzzle mechanic, which in practice, it sounds fun. Doom's getting amazing reviews. I really don't like this feature. Again, I'm very early on. I'm going to keep playing it and keep trying it out. But it just feels like a huge hindrance. Why would you take the ability for me to play the way that I want to play and force me to use certain weapons or certain things? It's kind of annoying, honestly. So I've only played it for maybe an hour or so. I'll go back to it, at some point in the future. I'm just really not feeling it right now because of that. I did not like that at all. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see. My opinions can definitely change depending on, how much further I get into the game. Oh, and before I forget, they do have this whole mechanic where you climb now. They had platforming in Doom 2016. There's still platforming in Doom Eternal, but there's a climbing mechanic now, and that is kind of clunky. It does not work very well at all, in my opinion. So what else am I up to? I'm actually in the middle of a lot of games right now, which is typically something I don't like doing because that means I'm probably not going to complete the games I'm working on, at least some of them. Animal Crossing is going to be a constant. I'm going to be playing that for probably at least a year. Call of Duty is something I've been playing with since it came out. I'm still playing Call of Duty now. I have similar complaints to what I've had in the past. Call of Duty's biggest problem, in my opinion, if you're playing the online multiplayer or even Warzone. Warzone I'm not playing right now because I'm not squatted up with anybody, and I feel like that's the best way to play Warzone. So if I had a partner and I was running in there together, Warzone's a lot more fun. It's not the same when you're playing by yourself. That being said, I am still playing multiplayer by myself, and the multiplayer, it's starting to annoy me quite a bit. It's just, I don't know, I'm just playing the same maps over and over. I really like playing Kill Confirmed, and that typically puts you in smaller maps. It doesn't put you in any of the big maps, so it kind of limits that. And then the Battle Pass, I feel, is just total bullshit. There's 100 tiers to it. You have to put in so much time to get through those 100 tiers that it's next to impossible. I'm sure some people out there will get to it, who have tons of free time on their hands. I just can never get to it. The first season, I got to level 50, which was halfway through. This season, I'm currently, I think, at level 40, and I don't anticipate being able to have enough time to get much further than that. Please, Activision, just cut it down to either 50 tiers or just put on a constant double XP because there's no way you can get through it. So you might be wondering why. Why do they do that? They make more money off of it because they try to entice you by buying more tiers. You can buy tiers by spending more money. So if I was getting close to the end of the season on the Battle Pass, I can spend money and get the other, from Season 1, I can get the other 50 tiers that I missed by giving them, X amount of dollars. Which is egregious, especially, nobody has that. There's so few people who have the time. The people who probably do have that time are younger. They probably can't afford it as much as someone like me who has, a better steady income and less time. I don't have time to get to level 50, and I'm not going to give you my money for it either. You can go fuck yourself. Or just fix your fucking game. Honestly. Alright, next up is a classic. I started playing Super Metroid. It's been great. I am probably 25 to 30% of the way through the game. I'm hoping to finish it. It just depends. I'm balancing and juggling so many different games right now. But man, the only complaint I have is I get lost constantly in that game still. It's the map works, but it's just I feel confused constantly. Whereas a game like Bloodstained, I was able to use their map better for some reason. It's probably just more modernized, and I don't really know the exact answer to it. But Super Metroid has been awesome. So I started playing Yoshi's Crafted World with my wife as well. We got through 2 levels. It's a great game for families and children. It's very easy in the beginning. It's not very difficult at all, especially comparing it to a Mario game. The only complaint I would have is just like any other 2-player Nintendo game, it's very difficult to play together at the same time. That would be my only complaint about it. But it's a lot of fun. It's very easy. It's a very chill, relaxed game. I'd say it was a perfect game to play right now in the world we're currently living in. And finally, I'm playing The Messenger. The Messenger I've been playing for quite a while. I would say I'm a little bit more than 50% of the way through that, so I am looking forward to finishing that game. If you guys like Ninja Gaiden style games, it feels like a new version of Ninja Gaiden. It's absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to finish it. So that's what I've been up to. Let me know what you guys have been up to. Leave a comment. Don't forget to follow us at Nerdenthusiast. You can follow my personal account at FromNJ2CA. Leave comments on the video, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. We do have a Patreon up now. Should be right down here if you guys want to check that out. I would greatly appreciate it. All the funds on there go to upgrading the equipment for the show. Hopefully we'll be expanding things sooner than later. But I know now's not the best time to be supporting things. I'm sure a lot of people are financially struggling. So if you can help out, that would be great. If not, totally understandable. But I'll continue making stuff for you guys regardless. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day. Take care. I love my Power Glove. It's so bad.